I just wanted to start this by saying this video is not really perfect. There was a lot of things I did wrong. The whole first, I think 4 or 5 games, the footage was corrupted. And then the last 3 were also corrupted. And our biggest rival, Grambling State. I downloaded a team that had like the university name as Tigers and the mascot name is Grambling State. So obviously that's a pretty big issue. So this is kind of like a year 0. I'm gonna do another one of these with a lot more in-depth detail, but also I just wanted to share the South Carolina game. You'll see about that in a little, but yeah, this doesn't really count. This is just a year 0, but I'm still gonna be treating it like a whole video, so keep watching. Up to this point in this season, we were 0-4, and we just have not been able to do anything at all. The footage was corrupted, as I previously said, but this team was also just unlucky. We had a quarterback, David DePaul, who was very inconsistent, who one play would have you looking like a superstar, and the next play throw an interception to a man who was completely covered in quadruple coverage. Yes, it happened. But halfway through the season, in our 3rd game, he got injured, so we had Xavier Jarvis, the true sophomore quarterback from Illinois, and he was really fast, as you can see. But also, our biggest flaw was definitely kicking, as in the whole season we had made 0 field goals. We were 0 for 7, including 3 misses under 30 yards. The whole season was basically just a big bad, as you can see here. But as Xavier Jarvis would get hurt, David DePaul would have to come in, and he was still playing injured. He might not be playing as well as usual. That was a beautiful throw downfield to Spencer Strickland. Now we sort of had a 2-score game with us having ball and 3 timeouts, so we fired deep. Spencer Strickland got to the 25. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, we threw another wheel route to Strickland, who eventually scored. And on defense, we were trying to let them score, but we ended up getting a sack. And on 2nd and 15, we tried to wrap up. We weren't able to. We hit him and get out of bounds. On 3rd and 4, the quarterback would just run it up the middle to be able to seal the game. Next, we had a road challenge against we were 0-5. South Carolina was 1-1, number 20, on the road at night. Safe to say, if we wanted to win this, it would be pretty much challenged, and it doesn't help when our quarterbacks fumble and we can't pick up the ball. South Carolina was a really good team, and their special suit was defense, as they had only been allowing 3 points per game on defense. I will say their strength of schedule wasn't very high. On this pass, we threw it deep. Keontae Tyson, our star running back, who broke free and gave us the lead at 8. Then on 3rd and inches, we ran a screen pass and somehow lost yards. On 4th down, Keontae Tyson busts through and he gets all the way to the 30. I already knew we were going to miss this field goal pretty much no matter what, and we ended up doing so. And this is when I decided to make a change at kicker, although not very significant. Xavier Jarvis to this point was lighting up the stat sheet, playing awesome, but throwing it over the middle and running very efficiently. And he just kept feeding our 2 best offensive receivers, Scott McLaurin and Spencer Strickland. In this, we took an 8-point lead, and then in the 3rd quarter, an RPO, we ended up stopping them on 2nd down. And then on 3rd and 5, we broke a tackle, got to the line, on the 1-yard line, we got a stop. And then the next play, he left a man wide open for a touchdown. And then the 2-point conversion, it's danced around for a while, but they converted. Keontae Tyson would then fumble the ball, giving South Carolina the ball back. And this was a very crucial mistake. And after an offensive possession that I don't even want to show, where we had negative 20 total yards, we got a defensive stop on 3rd down and we'd force them to punt. For the remainder of this, I won't be doing commentary, but I just want you to know that this is all with a backup quarterback, with an 0-5 team going on the road at night to very good ranked SEC team. From the American. Very good.
Keep the pedal to the floor, right? Don't let up. This is doing a great job.
They've thrown caution to the wind in this game, right, David? I mean, they came in knowing they have to take some chances, and they have to
Let's drive. Piece together some first downs. Get in position. And here they are on 1st and 10. Back to throw, and he needs to make a play. And that's going to be airing out of 3rd and 3. Got it in the middle. Looking to throw on 1st down. Got out of trouble and throws. First down. It's complete. And he gets out of bounds to stop
the catch in the middle of the field. You've got to tackle him in bounds.
Going for the goal line. Execution now. Kick the extra point. Tie this football game up late, or they go to the ground. Knocked down.
Front seven, tons of credit for being really physical there.
And the defense
Stance and get your hands up and punch and not miss. Because if you do, then that's what happens right there.
To this point, this 4th and 20 had been the biggest play in our program's history. And he would go deep to Nick Harper, the 6'6" receiver, who ended up catching it. But on 1st and goal, we would stop him ourselves just short of the goal line. Then we would perfectly read the run and make them lose 2 yards, and we did the same thing to make them lose another 5. And on 4th and goal, field goal was pure. And on our 1st and 10, we went to the same route that had been going all day long. And then we ran the ball with our star, but he wasn't able to get anything at all. And on 3rd down, we went to the zig route to old reliable Scott McLaurin. He would get inside the 5. And on 2nd and goal, we would run the same route, and we would complete to Scott McLaurin to complete the offset of a lifetime.
How about this offense coming out and executing so great, knowing what they needed. They were on defense first. They knew exactly what they needed to do. Come out, they get the throwing touchdown, ends the football game right now. Nice execution by the offense.
And that play right there, David, really encapsulates, I think, the identity of this team. They're going to fight and scratch and claw to the very end to get it done. Great job executing here late in the game to get the win.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.
Next, coming off a momentous win against South Carolina, as you just saw, we would have to go on the road and play Delaware. Delaware was not much better than us, with their one win coming against an FCS school with a safety in the last minute to seal it. But we would end up getting a quick touchdown to tie. Our favorite play was definitely this little screen pass, and it kept working, and Spencer Strickland would break free, and he is so good at changing direction and cutting. He's also very good at accelerating, and he would accelerate to the end zone. If I don't show the whole drive, it's usually just because it's a long drive with a lot of 4 yards carry and 5-yard passes. But we would end up scoring on that play, and then the option, we would get it to our, as usual, star running back, Keontae Tyson, who would score. And Keontae Tyson would go up the middle and just show you his pure speed and athleticism, as he basically just weaved around the defenders and got us all the way to the 5. And on 2nd and goal, we faked the screen and threw it to Scott McLaurin, who came down with it. And on 1st and 10, after a fumble by Delaware, we would end up scoring. Against Kennesaw State, Keontae Tyson would instantly break free on the first play of the game, take it 75 yards to the end zone. Then he would do it once again on the very next play after a 1-yard run. But he was very accelerative. He could carry our team to a victory if he needed, as he can show here. It was a beautiful juke move, and there's just the pure speed that he is so good at. It was looking very possible that he could break the NCAA rushing record, as to this point he had almost 300 yards, and he would only be 127 off. At halftime he had 331, and this run would help him get within one long run of breaking the NCAA record. This run to midfield would bring us within 1 yard, And then on the very next play, he would break free, get a block, and accelerate to the end zone. And he broke the NCAA rushing record from Samaje Perine. To this point, we didn't have a whole lot of passing yards, but that didn't really matter when you have an offense putting up 49 points, mostly just coming from running the ball. And Keontae Tyson was just so good this game. I can't stress enough. He was simply just awesome. And he would get another touchdown to add on. 580 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 27 carries. And he broke the national single-game rushing yards record. Next, we had a game against Auburn. And on our second offensive play, Keontae Tyson would somehow outrun one of the fastest safeties in the country and dive on his way to the end zone. To this point, I think all the players, coaches, and fans all believed that this was a very winnable game. As Auburn, yes, they were 6-2, but they were all very close wins and close losses. It was definitely possible, and yes, this game was really short because, as you can see, there's not a lot of scoring, and Auburn this season was just running a really slow offense, so you can already see in the fourth quarter that we tied it, and then Xavier Jarvis would make a beautiful throw on the line to get all the way to the 30. And this field goal from George Lincoln III would sail wide right, and they would likely be going to overtime. Then in overtime, the quarterback backed up, dumped it off to the running back who broke 2 tackles and ended up scoring. Then on our offensive turn, the running Xavier Jarvis would end up scoring. Then on 4th and inches, as we got the ball back, we would convert, and on 4th and 6, the defensive edge would break off the tackle, and he would end up sacking us, and on the very next play, Auburn would score to help them win. And in the third quarter, we had a grand total of 26 yards of offense in this game against Jacksonville State, but we would bring it home and score in back-to-back drives. And then, needing a very long drive, David DePaul would end up throwing a costly interception. Although we were only down 3, Scott McLaurin would make himself known, bringing us into the goal. Then on 2nd and goal, we would throw a quick slant for the touchdown. And against FIU, the playmaker, Keontae Tyson, would end up breaking free all the way, and he would end up scoring. Then we would score again to take the lead late in the third quarter, and Xavier Jarvis would launch it deep into double coverage. He overthrew it ever so slightly, and it would turn into an interception. They ended up driving and kicking a field goal, and they got another field goal after a fumble that I was not able to find. Then Xavier Jarvis would punch it into the end zone with a throw to Devontae Foreman, and then in overtime, he would run it 10 yards to the end zone. That's all the footage I have. I'm sorry if my commentary was pretty bad. I'm still kind of working on this. But if you want to see this video and this series more with this team, please let me know in the comments.